Welcome to my channel Cine Chills. Let's enjoy the explanation of the movie. This is a terrifying horror film that scares people to death. The Light and Fire of the Devil is adapted from the only real ghostly incident recognized by the Vatican. It is said that the prototype of the heroine in this film is still working as an exorcist. Film is full of high energy. Hurry up and watch it with your friends. The story begins in Rome in 1835. In order to protect the world from the harm of various demons and monsters, the Vatican Church decided to build a school here for exorcists who have acquired the ability to fight ghosts. However, according to past practice, only men can learn exorcism, and women are not allowed to do so. Over time, the number of demons becomes greater and their power becomes stronger. Tyranny of demons continues until the people possessed by it are at best incapacitated or fall directly into endless hell. Faced with such a huge and terrifying force, they will inevitably be somewhat powerless. At the same time, they also know that if this continues, the whole world will be in an unprecedented crisis. That is why they broke the confronts for the first time. The school began to recruit more people from outside the school to learn about ghosts and hired some nuns to take care of people possessed by ghosts. Xiaomei was one of them. Although Xiaomei was a woman, she wanted to become a ghost expert because her mother was possessed by a ghost in her childhood, and eventually her mother started going crazy. The mother kept banging her head on the door like a madwoman. After these incidents, her mother could not bear the torture of living a life more terrible than death and chose to commit suicide because she could not forgive herself for repeatedly causing her daughter to suffer. At the same time, Xiaomei felt compassion because of her mother's experience. She was determined to become a ghost expert to protect people possessed by ghosts. Because of this, when she worked as a nun in the ghost school, she not only took good care of the patients affected by ghosts but also often witnessed various ghostly events. But one day, Xiaomei was wiping the body of an old man when a strange scene happened. The incident was that the saline bag used on the old man's body suddenly filled with blood, gradually filling the entire bag. But Xiaomei, who was standing next to him, did not understand all this. She was wiping the old man's body as usual. Unexpectedly, after a while, she suddenly heard a familiar melody from the old man's mouth. Seeing this, Xiaomei felt terrified. It was the song that her mother often sang when she was suffering from demons. Xiaomei was extremely confused. Suddenly, there were blood stains on the old man's body. The familiar melody sounded again on the ward radio. When Xiaomei saw this, she wanted to run away, but the door was immediately closed. No matter how hard she pushed, it would not open. When she was panicking, the lights in the room started to flash and go out. As soon as Xiaomei turned around, the old man possessed by the devil immediately grabbed Xiaomei's throat and began to scare her. Immediately after that, the old man began to dance a romantic waltz. Her dance steps became more and more crazy. The lights were flashing more and more fiercely. Xiaomei screamed in terror, but unexpectedly, this scream temporarily drove away the devil in the old man's body. After this incident, the school monks decided to send Xiaomei back home so that she would not be targeted by the devil. But Laohe saw the possibility of being a ghost after seeing Xiaomei's actions. For this reason, Laohe thought that instead of sending Xiaomei back home, it would be better to train her to be a female exorcist. So after some discussion at school, they decided to promote Xiaomei as an exorcist. Xiaomei was very excited when she heard the news. In order to fulfill her dream in her heart, she worked hard to learn theoretical knowledge. When she had learned almost everything, her first exorcism ceremony finally took place. But she never expected that she herself would be the target of this ceremony. Two priests carefully entered the house of a girl who was possessed by a demon. But the girl looked strangely and they were scared. The girl's eyes were sad, her face was torn. Seeing this, they were scared and continued to read the Bible, but the girl, who was afraid of the devil, tried to block her ears with 2 fingers on both sides. While reading the Bible, a priest threw holy water on the girl, fearing the devil, and then the girl quickly turned over the wall and climbed into the corner of the wall. 2 priests continued to read the Bible downstairs, and then the lights in the room turned on and the CCTV cameras turned off. The girl who was afraid of the devil from above also jumped down and scared them. 2 priests were scared. and the girl stood calmly in front of everyone, looked at Xiao Mei expressionlessly, then covered her eyes with both hands and screamed loudly. Unexpectedly, in the next second, 2 huge bloody holes appeared on the girl's hands, and something disgusting came out of her hands. The girl was afraid of Xiao Mei. The old black man who was observing the situation immediately determined that this was the devil's instigation, so he was preparing to deal with this devil. Before he could read a few sentences and go to bed, the devil girl hiding under the bed grabbed her legs and pulled her, and in an instant the black man fell out. Priest Zhuang, who was standing next to him, immediately stepped forward, but they saw another extremely terrifying scene. This moment, the situation became very terrifying, and everyone present was helpless against the devil, but Xiao Mei bravely stepped towards the girl at this time. He knew that the girl was possessed by the devil. Xiao Mei was trying to talk to the girl with the Bible in her hand. The girl was answering calmly when suddenly the evil demon took over the girl's body and threw her to the floor. The girl's own hair was being pulled out of her mouth fiercely, as if someone was pulling the hair out of her mouth. 2 priests immediately stepped forward and pulled the hair out of the girl's face desperately. Lao He and Xiao Mei continued to recite the Bible. While the Bible was being read, the demon inside the girl's body finally let go of the hair and left violently. Through this exorcism ceremony, Xiao Mei became famous overnight. Her deeds naturally attracted a man named Xiaoshui. Many years ago, Xiaoshui's sister had a miscarriage due to an accident and her sister could no longer have children. Now her sister's condition had reached a very bad stage. So in order to save her sister, Xiaoshui personally asked Xiao Mei if she could help. Xiao Mei went to Xiaoshui's house. Xiaoshui's sister was lying on the bed with a pale face. Xiao Mei touched the holy water on her sister's forehead, but she didn't react much. Then when Xiao Mei removed the blanket and put the holy water on her stomach, the woman's eyes suddenly widened, and the candlelight in the room went out. With a hysterical scream, the woman's stomach suddenly swelled, as if it would burst in the next second. In the end, the devil controlled the fan and broke the hard wood of the wall of the room, hitting the mirror next to her fiercely. Xiao Mei was feeling panic. She tried to comfort the woman to suppress her panic. But this time, no matter what she said, the devil was still swirling in the woman's stomach. So Xiao Mei asked Xiaoshui to read the Bible. The woman's swollen stomach finally gradually returned to its original state. But after the incident, Xiao Mei's unauthorized exorcism became known to everyone in the school. For the school, exorcism is a very cautious ritual. If you are not careful, you will be in boundless danger. Xiao Mei's actions were undoubtedly forbidden by the school. So the school decided to dismiss Xiao Mei and return her to her original position. But not long after Xiao Mei returned, Xiaoshui found her again. He was telling Xiao Mei that the little girl who had been possessed by him before was again attacked by the devil. Even if all the priests of the school got together, they could not deal with such a powerful devil. Helplessly, they could only send the girl to the Vatican to ask the church for help. But as soon as they left, the demon in the girl's body woke up again. Priest was about to read the Bible, but the demon suddenly caught fire when he looked at the cross. The driver had no choice but to bring her back. The ambulance was sent back to the school, but the moment Xiaoshui opened the door, he only saw a little girl covered in blood and dead bodies lying around her. In addition, the girl gave Xiaoshui a cross necklace and asked him to give it to Xiao Mei. After Xiao Mei heard Xiaoshui's words, she took the cross necklace in her hand and suddenly fell into a depressed state, and an unknown past also came to her mind. Turned out that many years ago, Xiao Mei was young and ignorant and had relationships with many men, which eventually led to her pregnancy. But she didn't know whose child it was. Xiao Mei knew in her heart that she was not capable of raising a child in her current situation, so she gave the child to someone else, and the cross necklace was the only way to identify that he gave the child to her. After saying these words, Xiao Mei finally realized that the girl possessed by the devil was actually her daughter. The girl felt abandoned and held a grudge against Xiao Mei all day. This intense resentment finally took hold of a powerful demon. The demon first possessed the mother and tortured her day and night. After torturing and killing the mother, it targeted the girl Xiao Mei. In order to prevent the demon from harming her daughter, Xiao Mei decided to rescue her. But Xiaoshui told her that the demon in the girl's body had reached a point where it was difficult to control. Now she was imprisoned in the basement of the school. The guards there were very strict and no one could enter without permission. But still, Xiao Mei was determined to go alone. Xiaoshui took her to the deepest part of the basement, risking expulsion. But the two found the girl imprisoned in a room. Suddenly, 3 priests stopped her. They told Xiao Mei to leave immediately and not stay there anymore. But after a while, their voices made the devil a little impatient. The little girl just waved her hand and hit the 3 priests with invisible force and pushed them away. Seeing such a terrifying scene, Xiao Mei knew that all this was the result of her daughter's hatred for her. For this reason, she first expressed her sorrow to her daughter and then begged the devil to let her go. As soon as she spoke, the girl who was possessed by the devil hugged her mother with an evil smile. As soon as she hugged her, Xiao Mei completely lost her self-awareness and the devil took over her body. Her eyes turned black. Strangely, she was floating in the air. Xiaoshui immediately picked up the girl in her arms and tried desperately to escape, but in the next second, the iron gate suddenly closed. Helplessly, Xiaoshui first lowered the girl down, and then took out the cross and carefully faced the devil. But the devil just shook his neck, and immediately Xiaoshui was pushed into the wall by the invisible force of the devil. Xiao Mei, who was possessed by the devil, grabbed her little daughter by the throat and began to strangle her. The girl immediately began to scream for her mother. Hearing her mother's screams, Xiao Mei fell into the devil's grip. Hearing her daughter's screams and seeing the cross necklace in her hand, Xiao Mei finally regained a trace of self-awareness. In order to prevent the devil from possessing her again, she touched the cross necklace on her forehead, and the devil finally drowned in the water to leave Xiao Mei's body. The light in the basement lit up. Xiao Mei successfully defeated the powerful devil in her body with her own power. At the end of the story, the daughter forgave Xiao Mei's mistakes, and the mother and daughter were reunited. Xiao Mei was sent to the Vatican for further study. But when she was driving, she suddenly saw a strange old woman at the intersection. Even the driver became even more strange. Xiao Mei finally realized that something was wrong. But just when she was about to get out of the car and run away, the old woman appeared strangely in front of her, which scared Xiao Mei. To deal with the situation, Xiao Mei held the cross she had with her in front of the devil. It was clear that the demon inside Xiao Mei had not really disappeared. Instead, it was hiding in her body, waiting for the next suitable opportunity. This is the end of our video today. If you like it, please subscribe, follow, and support me. See you in the next movie.